All right, so last time in Barovia, having fled with your friend incapacitated from Yesterhill back to the winery, the Wizard of Wines, you were just barely able to get him resuscitated with some help from the Keepers of the Feather. And after a heated argument as to the nature of the organization and presenting the stolen gem to the Keepers, you journeyed with them to make a wine delivery, one to the Blue Water Inn, where you met with Danica, purchased a questionable amount of arrows.
I forgot about that.
So did I. They're my arrows. Good lord.
And Tansveta learned a few tricks, a little more about his heritage, and a new way to use his elven gifts, I guess, from the Dusk Elves. Making your way, you found yourselves in the city of Kresk, dropped off more wine, met with the Burgomeister, an interesting fellow who seemed way too into himself, as are much of the Barovian nobility. After cajoling and talking your way into his good graces, you decided to once again return to the winery to see the task through. The next morning, you made your way back to Yesterhill to get a good look at that evil tree that lurked at the top. Tansveta, as your eyes still aglow, that haze that follows that detect magic, that dark, pulsing black, like a beating heart, rotten and corrupted, pouring necrotic energy into the earth like veins coursing through a body. And that's where we'll pick up.
He adjusts the marbles in his hand as he's kind of like matching the colors to the colors that he's seeing, and quietly puts them away and just says, we won't be burning it down like we originally anticipated.
And why is that?
The roots are unimaginably deep and long.
Well, we take it out then.
I don't know. I don't know that we can.
Everything can be killed.
I mean, it might not hurt to actually burn it. Try burning it down. At least stop it from growing.
I don't know that it'll stop it. That's what I'm trying to say. This is not like anything I've ever seen.
We march all the way here. We at least got to try, right?
As much as I'd like to, and believe me, I'd like to. That is... You know what? Fuck it. Yeah. Why not? Go ahead. I don't think it's going to do anything, but good luck.
Yeah, sort of sure of himself. Like, what do you mean I can't fight a tree? Chest puffed out. March up the hill towards it.
Ash will follow just a few feet back, also very confused about how you can't burn a tree.
Not a tree, mate. Huh?
Wood, fire.
It's
Does
wood,
it-
ain't it?
Allow me to be very, very clear. And what I mean, that shit's got a lot of fuckery going on with it.
Yeah, so ain't this whole entire place, but we killed
No,
other
this
things.
is another kind of fuckery.
There's more than one kind of fuckery.
Approximately 13 kinds.
Mr.
Well.
Tens, I shall have to sit you down one night and have you explain to me the many different facets of Fakuri. But for now, you say this tree is more than a tree? It is more powerful, it runs deep.
Let me put it to you this way. You see how you can see the top of that, the top of the branches? Yeah? From here?
Yeah.
Normally roots, I don't know if you know this. I like, at least I don't know that I know this. Roots typically don't go all the way out that way very, very far, and that way very, very... They're usually like, you know, somewhat condensed underneath the tree. There's no condension there. There's nothing... I mean, it's condensed, but it's not like condensed, like they reach, like in veins.
How do you know this?
I saint them.
You what?
I saint them.
Say using words again. I can't understand.
I used my eyes, compared the color to my marbles, and they matched underneath the ground for miles.
I ain't making a lick of sense.
All right. Good luck.
You're seeing underground, like...
Yeah, it's a fucking
Kinda.
tree.
And these roots, Mr. Tens, they draw from the land?
You know, now that I think about it, they probably draw from more than just the land.
Man, you
Durango's
are on
going to approach the tree and just like run his fingernails down the trunk and try and examine it, see if he can get a feel for it, like if it's like a source of power, if it's like a totem.
So at this point, you're all several hundred feet away from the tree still, right? Making your way up through that clearing as you all begin to clearly march towards it. That effigy of Strahd from the previous night still smoldering on the ground. Ash and soot and a bit of smoke cloud your vision for a second, just looming across the scene as this black mass appears before you. At the southern end of this hilltop is a sickly copse. It's a grove, really. But unlike a natural grove in that all the trees have died, they're petrified, rotten stumps still standing firmly in the ground surrounding the Golthias tree.
See?
A huge misshapen mass of black wood and branch. Blood oozes like sap from this twisting trunk. And skulking around, sort of lurking and twisting all around it, are 6 gangly humanoid creatures covered with needles. Those same creatures you saw at the winery a few nights ago. They all turn simultaneously towards you as you approach. Durango, that staff on your back starts to vibrate slightly, and you watch as they back away slowly, their dead, hollowed eyes never peeling away from the party as you approach. Embedded in the trunk, covered in this bloody sap that is oozing from the tree, is a shiny battle axe. And beneath that, a humanoid skeleton.
Well. Place is just full of little baubles. And, oh yeah, I'm taking that axe.
I wouldn't touch it.
He's so scared of this fucking tree. You're worried about it, we can use this axe to cut it down.
I think that's what that one was trying to do. And he like nods at the skeleton.
I hesitate to agree so openly with Mr. Tens, Sir Cole, but It would appear that perhaps this tree feeds on more than the dirt.
I tried to
think?
say that, but you don't want to fucking listen to me.
Ash has an arrow knocked. Why aren't these things attacking us?
You see, my friend, even a simple beast knows better than to cross the great Durango Fortescue.
Yeah, right, sure. But why?
Like you
Durango
said,
just
it's
breaks.
stuff.
Can we use the staff to do something with the tree then, or what?
That just sounds kinky. Yeah, try it. And he like shoves very weakly against Durango's shoulder. And try it.
Durango stumbles for a second, quickly, catches himself, regains his composure, shoots Ten's kind of a dirty glance as he retrieves the stick and holds it in front of him. And yeah, he's going to look at the stick and the tree, but he's muttering under his breath in infernal, like whispering, as he attempts to contact his benefactor, his muse. You're muted, dude.
So I'm sorry, you're attempting to.
Stick
Okay.
a stick in a tree.
Well, not stick the stick in the tree. No, he's like focusing on the stick as he tries to contact his benefactor, his muse.
Right.
As you get closer in the grove, you feel this almost choking sense of decay, but it's more than that. It's this evil energy that is just oppressive in nature. And despite the fact that you attempt to reach out and find your muse or your contact, there is no response. Those twig blights just stare.
Durango's going to strike an imperious pose and look at the twig critters, gesture towards the tree with the stick. You shall take it down. Destroy it.
No response. They just stare, dead-eyed, waiting.
I do not know why you have handed me this disgusting stick. It appears to be broken.
What did you do last time when you had those things stop? You just talked to it, right?
To be completely honest, Mr. Ash, I was not holding the stick at that time. That was Sir Cole. I am unsure as to what he did.
All I did is I took it and I said, I think it was flea or something similar.
Tell the tree to die.
That's not how that works. That's not
Sing
how
the song
fuckery
for
works.
the birds. Talk to the tree. Always Durango.
Well, you're the most talented of us all.
Durango strikes that imperious pose again and gives his ponytail a quick flip arrogantly. Tree, I command you to desist.
Again, no response.
Well, I'm getting bored. And he starts like pulling out the Fortescue's finest and hands everybody a bottle.
Yep. Hesitation. Uncorks. Throws a little back and starts on the base of the tree, the roots. Not being very careful not to touch it because they're very, very concerned about me touching it. But yeah.
Ash is way too freaked out about these things not attacking him. He's somebody else take my bottle and whatever, and he's just watching the blights.
Save it. I want to drink all of it. And he like he takes about a quarter of the bottle down, and then he just starts kind of pouring it around it too. This isn't gonna work, and I know it's not going to, and I think it's really fucking stupid that we're doing this.
Despite doing his best to look confident, Durango does not take a step closer towards the tree. He's thoroughly unsettled.
Nothing? No? None of you? God,
Light it
a
up.
bunch of bitches. He's just gonna snap, and he's gonna light it like it would like he would a bonfire with prestidigitation.
Try to light the tree.
I'll try to light the vodka, at least.
Oh, okay, the vodka, sure.
That's poured around the tree.
Yeah, sure. In a quick flash, similar to the previous night, the ground and the dead grass and branches quickly lights. The dried wood illuminating suddenly as in a circle all around the tree and around the twig blights just erupts into flame. The twig blights emit a sound akin to almost like a creaking and breaking of a tree falling in the forest, as this subtle, almost incomprehensible scream can be heard. Let's go ahead and roll an initiative.
Oh boy.
I think we gotta go to combat.
You're gonna have to clear our initiatives up.
Whatever, dude.
Oh, come on, tens?
Ooh.
All right, I'll take it.
Got a frickin' 5.
All right, Ash. So through as you see some of these creatures begin to catch fire, they immediately start to lurch towards you, placing themselves between you and the tree.
For the sake of this, is everything just 5 feet still on the map? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and flank off to the side here a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and attack that one. We're gonna go ahead and roll 2 arrow shots. $17.
17 hits. It's a Barovian miracle.
For 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage as that twisted humanoid-like form just comes barreling out of the woods, or out of the fire towards you. Just parts of it still aflame. It rushes, and that first arrow just slams into it, and you watch this black like blood ooze out of it as the arrow just pierces through, and it collapses, still burning on the ground.
I'm gonna go ahead and let loose another arrow at one of the other ones for a 19.
19 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
For 5 damage.
5 damage, yeah. So another one just comes in quick succession. You fire 2 arrows, taking 2 of them out in a smoldering ruin. All right. Is that in your turn?
Very confused. Ash is gonna get ready to knock another arrow and wonder why they're dying so fast.
New arrows. Who dis?
They just needed to be a little bent.
He looks at the one that he's got and he goes, "This one doesn't even have a point on it. What the?"
Durango.
No one has an eye for fletching like the great Durango Fortescue. So Durango is going to raise the stick up again as he looks at the assortment of critters behind him, or in front of him, and try to command them once again. Tell them to hold.
No. You're not certain if there's a response, right? Everything is moving quickly. They are flailing around in the fire, trying to throw themselves between you and The Gulthias tree.
And that would be an action, yeah?
I'm going to say yes if you're really trying to just hold it in front of you and command them. Sure.
Can command them? Yeah. Okay. Unsure of the effect, Durango is going to retreat into the stones. That's my turn.
All right, Cole.
All right.
For the sake of let's go ahead and move this here, right? This is our ring of fire now.
Okay.
You got it, Johnny.
All right. I think what I'm going to do is oh, these things are nothing. We've dealt with them before, so I'm just going to shield up, move in. I'm just gonna set just outside this ring of fire. I'm gonna hold my action until something breaches the outer edge. Yeah.
Specifically looking in the ring.
Well, yeah. The only threat I see is these twig blights. So, specifically just waiting for them to engage and.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's it.
All right. Well, from outside the ring, you see one of the bushes to the side just begin to morph and take life as this one of those vine creatures from inside the vinery just begins to form.
I hate vine creatures.
It is going to go ahead and make a attack against you from where it is right now as those vines shoot out across the ground and erupt around you.
Great.
You remember this old
Yeah.
nut?
Mm-hmm.
Being
It's a
yes.
21.
Sure do.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's to me, right?
Nope, this is to Cole. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And you are grappled, Cole.
What kind of damage is that?
Bludgeoning.
Okay, so I'll take 3 less, so that's 5.
Why would you take 3 less?
Heavy armor
Heavy.
mastery.
Armor mastery.
Oh, yep. Okay. I forgot about that one. All right, and that is its turn. Going to this big blade here, who is going to rush out at you. So go ahead and make your attack as it rushes through the fire.
Right.
At disadvantage because you are restrained.
That's 17 to hit.
17 still hits.
Oh, no, wrong. I rolled damage. Yeah, this roll. 7 points of damage, and
Yep.
and the held action. Do I still get my extra attack or?
No.
All right. Yeah, and I just come down from up top, and I try to just grind them into the ground with my Morning Star.
Yeah, that twig, that smaller one just rushes out, and you can see as it just dives through the fire, bits of it still in flame. You just, even though the roots are tangled all around you and it's jumping right for you, you manage to pull the Morning Star up and just bat it away and smash it as it just crumbles to the ground in a pile of twig and burnt bark. This one is going to do the same thing. That is a 15, Cole.
No, sir.
All right. So yeah, just another one comes rushing out of the fire, still burning. You can see as it begins to the flames evaporate off of it, although a good chunk of it is still blackened and burned as it reaches out and those claws attempt to grapple you or just rake across you, but you pull your shield down just in time and deflect them away. That same scene again, as over and over again, these twig blights just begin to pour themselves out of the fire and attack you.
I mean, I would try to get out of the fiery water too.
That's a 14. That's a miss.
I'm laughing at this point, and I was dodging and swinging shields up.
And the next one. It's an 18.
I got a little cocky at it.
Yeah, in this epic scene, as it just one after another just dives out of the fire. You bash the first one with your Morning Star, and you knock two away with the shield. As the third one just comes and rakes across you with those wooden corrupt claws. You take 5 points of piercing damage.
Well, I take 2 then. This is my favorite ability. So good.
From around the fire, another one of those vine creatures appears. This one is going to attack you, Tinsveta.
Yeah, that hits.
It's a 21. Yep.
Wait, I've got something for that. My aura of protection. Oh, that's for saving throws. Okay, never mind.
Yep. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are restrained as those vines tear up out of the ground, erupting from the earth beneath you and grappling around you. Tens, you can see entangled in the vines is like another like bits and pieces of like other skeletons and things that were buried underneath the hill.
Ooh.
All right, and with that, Tinsveta, it is your turn.
What to do? I think that's what we'll do. Okay. Yeah, no, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use the face step and get out of the restraint and appear here, and all three of them will just straight up take 3 points of fire damage as a bonus action. As he just as the vines go up across his body, he just, the fuck do you think you're doing? And as he does, he appears in just this burst of quick flame, and then he will take his he's just gonna use his, because I haven't activated the Sun Sword yet, so he'll use his regular rapier against the blight up top. Normal. Natural 20.
Nice.
Critical
That'll work.
damage.
26 hits.
Where's the critical? Come on. Oh, Jesus. Wait, what? That isn't right. What did it roll first?
It rolled a 3.
Okay, so 3 plus, so 7 points of piercing damage on that second one. No sneak attack. And that's his turn.
All right. So yeah, as you evaporate from inside the vines, they just clasp in place. After having entangled you appear suddenly in just this burst of like summer flame that just. You watch the two of the twig blades just explode as that fire just ignites them again, and they crackle and break over. The vine creature, a little bit of the spark, the flames sort of lick up it, but it brushes it aside. And as those wet vines again start to reach out to you, you stab your rapier into them, coating it in that thick black blood that seems to be coursing through the vines.
Ugh. Disgusting.
And we are back to Ash.
Oh no. No more vine things. And I'm gonna attack the vine creature from the lagoon over here. With my bow, because we're trying to, get practicing, so we're good at that. 19 for 27 points of damage, or 27 to hit.
27 hits.
8 points of damage.
All right.
Just gonna follow right up again with another arrow. Or 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Who are you?
For another 5 points of damage.
Figures the night we put out that tweet.
I got something to prove, okay? I'm not only the sum of my rolls when they're bad.
Does that end your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop back behind the wall with Durango here. Maybe. I can't move? Question mark.
Try using your arrow key to see if it changes anything.
Nope. Well, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna try to move up next to Durango on the other side.
There you go. Now it's going.
Cool. I'm there.
Cool.
That'll end my
All
turn.
right. Durango.
And Durango's going to brace the neck of his lute against some of the stonework, pointing the headstock towards the vine creature by tens, and a couple quick strums start blasting. That was looking so good for a sec.
Yeah.
It's a 9 to hit for the first one.
On the vine creature, yeah, unfortunately, no. It just doesn't hit. The whole thing just sort of writhes and wriggles in place, and as you fire off that eldritch blast, the first one just sort of morphs around it.
Second one was a nat 20 for 7 points of damage.
Did you hit the crit button?
I clicked critical for the.
Yeah, that's what it did to me too.
Yeah, I
so-
wonder if it's not working. So just roll another 1d10. Same exact thing. So 8. Yeah, 8 points of bludgeoning damage is the second Eldritch Blast. Seeing it move out of the way, you anticipate where it's headed. You fire, you lead it on a bit, and the second one, just vines and black ooze just shoot everywhere, all covering tens.
Durango smiles for a moment before taking cover again behind the stonework.
Cole.
Well, it looks like Taze has got that other one, so I'm going to make my way around.
You are still restrained.
Oh, I can't. That's right. All right. Well, I'll just start chopping away at the one front.
All right. Disadvantage.
Yeah.
As those vines are just gripping at your legs and holding you in place.
That's a 9 to hit.
9 misses. Yep. No. You attempt to crack down with your are you hitting with your Morning Star still? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
the Morning Star. As you crack down with that Morning Star, the The twig creature just darts in and out of those vines that are grappled, wrapped around you.
All right, and just gonna ride the momentum and bring it down for another hit on it with extra attack. Oh, sorry, it's a disadvantage. So yeah, that won't hit either. That'd be
It's a
10.
12, right?
12, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, 12 still misses. Yeah, it's just kind of darting in and out, and you just can't get a good beat on it. You're just kind of like stuck in place.
Yeah, I'll tug my feet in frustration, and that's it.
All right. That the Vine Blight is going to constrict on you again.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. It's what it does, 21.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
You take another 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Another 2.
This Twig Blight is going to attack. For a 22.
Yeah, keep them coming.
For 2 more points of piercing damage.
So you see the hit just sort of graze off the armor because it reduces by 3, so...
Yep. So as you continue to, the vines just continue to pulse and wrap, and they are just further and snaring around you. So they're twisting around like a bed of snakes at your feet, coiling up around the armor. That twig blight rushes up and attempts to dive at your guts, but it just pings, like the wooden claws just deflect right off of the armor.
So watch you go bouncing, I just go...
All right, Tenzaveta. No, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say,
Fine creature.
hit me first.
Yeah, I don't mind if I do. That's a 14.
14 just hits because I haven't done the mage armor.
Mm-hmm.
Still wearing my leather.
Right. So that is 6 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are restrained.
Sure.
As the vines just erupt again now. You can watch it like breaks its arms off from the previous location, and new vines just erupt out into the ground and coil up around your feet. And it is your turn.
All right. As much as I don't want to, we're going to do it again. I'm going to look over at Durango and Ash and just say, "Would you fuckers finish this guy before I disappear and appear over here?" They'll take 5. They'll each... My bad, not there. There. And they'll both take 3 points of fire damage. Down to 1 more of those. And then we will probably kill the Twig Blight first. And let's go ahead and make it a booming blade.
Well, you said they took 3 points of fire damage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For my
Twig
face
Blight's
step.
gone. Yep.
Oh, well then, screw it.
Yep.
Doing that to the Vine Blade. And 10.
And misses.
Alright. Well,
Booming and not green flame, huh?
of course. That's my turn.
All right. Ash.
We're gonna
Cole is just slowly being just enveloped by these vines in the center as these 2 monstrosities continue to assail them.
Are you good, dude?
I'm fine, just hit him.
And I'm gonna let off 2 arrows. For an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
For 10 points of damage.
Which one was it?
This one down here by 10s.
Yeah, as the arrow flies over your shoulder, Cole, you can just barely see it as the vines are starting to wrap around you, getting up to your neck as suddenly they just wither and crack and break away as this arrow whizzes by, and you see the blight creature just drop and hunch into place.
You're welcome.
Yeah, sort of bounce in place and turn around, start hunting the other one.
Wrong one.
No. Don't listen to him. Good job.
And I'm gonna send the other. Well, not with that one.
We're
We're
back,
back.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
returned.
Just as I was complimenting you and everything.
Ash, very, very visibly thrown off by like shooting the wrong one, but getting complimented, doing really well. Just like points at the ground and lets it go by accident.
No, it's just you pull it back, and it's just the arrow. The tip just comes all the way off, and it just the whole thing kind of like falls and it snaps.
As a free action, I would just like to like bat Durango on the shoulder.
And Durango, you're up.
Mr. Ash, it is no wonder why you find yourself without arrows so often. He looks back down the neck of his lute, pointing towards the closest vine creature, and starts blasting. It's 22 to hit.
22 hits.
For 11 damage.
11. All you needed, yeah, is that Eldritch Blast slams into the chest of this vine creature. It just explodes into this oozing pile of just black viscous sap. The chest cavity just like welled open as it's just bits of root and gore just kind of falling out of it. All right, so it's all of you take a breath for a moment. You look around, staring at every twig, every bush. Nothing else seems to move, and as that circle of fire dies down just a smidge, you can still see the black mass of this tree just continuing to pulse and writhe on the hilltop.
See? Fuckery. And he takes a swig of the vodka that he still has in hand.
Well, fine, it work. Let's try chopping it down.
I don't think it's a good idea. And he points to the skeleton again.
You could have just been ambushed by those twigs, mate. We know how to fight that. It just looks like a,
Look, we've
What's
already... I got knocked out like 2 or 3 times by a walking tree the other day. This one has roots that go on for miles. You can go fuck yourself. And he just kind of like turns around and starts walking back towards the cairns. Drinking all the way.
I'll guess you'll be the one to explain to the winery, yeah, when they get attacked again.
Probably.
I'm taking the axe.
Before anybody can do anything, Ash is just gonna shoot an arrow into the tree. See if anything happens.
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
He's gonna miss.
Fucking
There we go.
for a 25 to hit.
There we go.
25 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
This is a bad idea. I can feel it.
For 8 damage.
Of course it is.
8. Yeah, so you fire the arrow, and the aim is true. It slams into the tree. And nothing happens. And then a moment later, you watch as the arrow wiggles a bit as it is just kind of pushed out. The hole that it created fills with that like blood-like sap that just drips and hardens over and begins to turn black almost instantaneously.
He hits Durango and says, "See? Told you."
I do not proclaim to be an expert in trees, Mr. Tens, but it is my opinion that you could be correct, yes?
While we're beating around this bush, let's just chop it down, and I it can bleed, it can heal, but let's cut it down first, before it does.
I appreciate the fact that you put a joke in that stupid statement.
Ash is gonna prep to pull him out of there. a little dumbfounded, but
I'm gonna go ahead and light the sunblade and just have it ready.
Gonna try to yank that axe out and.
You're going to pick up the axe, so I will put it on your character for a moment.
For a moment.
No, it'll only take a moment.
Put it on that character sheet. You're not going to need that anymore, though.
Pretty much.
So, for a moment, Cole, you reach down and as you pick up the axe, you go to swing, and as you wield it back, the handle just erupts in like thorny protrusions that stab into your hands. You take 1 point of piercing damage, which is reduced to, I guess, nothing. Yeah.
It worth the tree I had to worry about. Rub him.
Maybe you should try your Morning Star.
God. You should have put that item in my inventory. It might be someone else has better luck with it, and I toss it over to Ash.
What do you toss my way?
The axe, just at your feet. Not like I'm not.
Oh. Were you were able to get the axe out? I thought the axe handle was what. Or did I misinterpret that?
The axe handle exploded into thorns, so I grabbed it by the half, and I'm tossing it over to you. I'm not.
All right, I'm just gonna like throwing star.
Yeah, the handle looks fine to you.
To me. All right, I'll try picking it up.
Okay. You pick it up, you hold it, you wince for a second. Nothing happens.
I don't know what you did wrong.
Fuckery. I ain't biting you. Give it a shot.
All right, I will walk up and give it a swing.
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
An 18 to hit for a total 21.
21 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Gonna have two hands, so using the versatile. For 5 points of slashing.
Don't freak out. I just need this. I don't think that's accurate, right? With the don't freak out, yo. So that with that axe, you can you watch as you begin to take it down towards the tree. It's almost like it's carrying itself, like it can see its target, like it feels it, and it quickly slashes and buries itself into the trunk before pulling out, and you can watch this gash that is made just begin to ooze that liquid, that red blood-like sap, and the smell of rotten and death just permeates the air as it wafts from this gash that you've created. It doesn't seem to be healing the same way that the arrow one did, but you take let's see, when it hits a plant, whether ordinary plant or plant creature, the target takes an extra 1d8. So roll damage and another 1d8
for another 8.
Yep, great.
Tree Bane.
Yeah, you put it in my inventory, and I was like, what is this? I was very confused for a second.
The tree is still standing, but
it doesn't appear to be hardening up the sap and stuff like the arrow one did.
it doesn't.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take another swing at it then. For an 8 to hit.
8. Yep. So as you swing the axe again, it's been a while. It just kind of glints off of the side and just doesn't land quite as smooth of a cut as you wanted it to.
And then
it should be an advantage, right, Chuck? I mean, it's it's really under the restrained tag, right? It's not moving anywhere, isn't it?
I mean, it is it's the Golthias tree, bro.
Right, I know. I'm just saying. I just feel like you wouldn't miss. Not sure.
He hit a spot of blood and it off.
Yeah.
How that actually hurt my hand doing that motion too hard.
Calm down, bud.
Didn't realize I could do that.
I guess I'm just gonna keep hacking away right up until the point where before I would take a point of exhaustion, mechanically speaking.
What are the rest of you doing?
Sitting here drinking the rest of that bottle that I had, watching it, shaking my head, and occasionally just spouting expletives at how stupid this is.
Durango's watching the tree with interest.
I think I would be taking this time if I don't know how long it's gonna get him through the tree, but I'm gonna check out this spear and start trying to get to understand it a little bit.
Oh, and I'll prestidigitate the goop off of me that Durango put on me.
I mean, put on you is kind of a loaded statement.
So it takes a few minutes. Well, we'll say 5 minutes of consistent chop. As the normal sounds of hitting a tree are replaced with this gooey crunch, right? Like the axe is tearing through bone and flesh with each chop. Finally, Cole, or Ash, I'm sorry, you get it to a point where it begins to fall, and as you push away, that oozing sap inside snaps away as it more the top part of it where you were cutting from the stump almost tears rather than breaks. You watch that black top, the trunk of the tree just tumble down and begin to roll down this hill into the fog as it kind of withers and shrivels as it rolls down. All that's left now is a black stump.
Kansas, is this thing dead now?
I'm gonna ritually cast Detect Magic, rearranging my marbles in my hand, watching for the various different glows, looking at the roots.
Make a nature check for me, too.
Oh, man. Can I get advantage for using...
Sure.
Hey, I'll take it. Doesn't matter. I got a 12.
So it's hard to say. You can see that that magic dwindling now. The roots that were spreading and permeating seem to be retracting and pulling itself centered back now on that stump. It seems as if maybe the tree is dying.
Hey, despite all odds of this being a reality, it might have worked.
What was that?
I was wrong?
What was that?
See, I can admit to being wrong. It's not hard for me to admit that I'm wrong. And I can say I'm sorry. And he starts putting the marbles away. So sorry for the paranoia here. I've never seen anything like that.
While they're bickering, Durango's going to start muttering under his breath again in Infernal and see if he can contact his benefactor now with the tree felled.
You mutter again. Still nothing. Nothing feels different. The air just permeated with this foul energy.
My friends, the celebrations may be premature.
Oh? Makes you say that?
Do you not feel the taint in the air, Mr. Tens? Do you not feel the drip of Fakuri?
uh, I mean, that's how it is everywhere we go, but that's beside the point.
Perhaps you yourself are not quite as sensitive or perceptive as the great Durango Fortescue, but I
Oh,
assure you
fucking course not.
that we have not had that desired effect in this place.
Whatever. He's just gonna like polish off what's left of the bottle, just throw it at the stump.
Well, if nothing else, we can. You said it's kind of. Seems like it's getting better.
I didn't say that.
I said kinda.
Well, I didn't say getting better though. Don't put those words in my mouth, because I did not say that they're getting better. All I said was that it seemed like it was dying or dead.
Okay.
The roots are doing something funny down though that looked like it's all kind of like getting together. It's weird.
So we go back to the winery. We tell Kakajo that
Who?
I don't remember his real name. Guy, big bird head. You don't remember that whole thing?
Oh, Caw Joe, not Caw Joe. Got it. I thought you were calling him a poopy head.
What language are
I
you
wasn't
speaking?
getting it. Well, it's common, I think.
Eh.
But we can tell him the tree's down, but better watch it.
And what might leave him with that axe if that was well, hell will help him out. Well, I mean, unless we hold on to it in case we run into more of these things.
Ash kind of looks at it and goes, "Yeah, something tells me this could be more useful to us if we're wandering through the woods anymore."
If there are more trees like this, I don't know. Yeah, sure, maybe. We should probably take it, but at the same time, we shouldn't just be gallivanting across Barovia, chopping down trees like we're some kind of woodsman. Have you seen my very skimpy frame? I'm very lithe over here. Not strong. You're strong. He's strong, but you know, like I don't think it's wise for all of us to just go about just chopping down trees.
Well, let him do it. You don't have to chop on a single tree.
But now I have to wait.
So are you upset about having to chop a tree? Are you upset about someone else chopping a tree and you're waiting?
If I'm with those people, yes.
Do
Every
not
time I
listen
think
to
I
him,
get a
Mr.
bead.
Ash. I feel that you have proved yourself outstanding towards this task. But should we be concerned about encountering more of these, perhaps it would be pertinent for me to examine this. And Durango's going to approach the stump and squat down and make a great show like he's examining it. But he's going to slip a dagger out from his doublet, and as discreetly as he can, he's going to carve the infernal character for Muse in the surface of the stump, like in an attempt to dedicate like the font of power to his benefactor, like as an offering almost. If it's like a focal point of energy, right?
So you begin to carve that symbol. The stump still, and as you're looking at it now, that blood-like sap is beginning to just bubble in tiny droplets, almost like it's pooling up. As you carve into it, it just continues to bleed a bit in the gaps that you create. Feeling satisfied with your work, nothing happens.
the quick snap of his fingers to clear the ichor from his dagger and anything that might have gotten on his person. Yeah, Durango turns and faces the group. Shall we make our way from this unfortunate place?
By all means.
Yeah, I'm good with not being on the hill anymore.
Chopped down a tree, burned down an effigy of Strahd, took a pretty gem, died. I think I've done just about everything you can here.
Oh, you weren't dead, mate. You were just sleeping.
You didn't see what I saw.
Okay. So you guys are headed back down the hill, or you're leaving Yester Hill?
Yeah, I think we're gonna head back to the winery, just to kind of report to them, and then
Report in.
to the monastery, right?
I think that was the next on the map, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds about right. Because we're going to go to the Amber Temple last.
I'm gonna run down some invisible clock, and we just won't be able to leave Barovia. We're just gonna.
True.
So as you begin to make your way down the hill, it is the sun is still high. It's hot. Well, the sun is high in the sky at this point, as it's still just a little afternoon, although it dampened by that perpetual gloom that seems to hang the overcast clouds that just continuously drift in an endless cycle across the valley. Walking once again through that dark, misty wood along the path back to the winery. A few hundred feet along the path, having stepped down from the hill, Durango, your vision suddenly tunnels. Everything else around you fades to black. You watch your friends on the road, on the path in front of you, just disappear and vanish as you are suddenly in this void of darkness. And in that void, two glowing red eyes appear before a familiar, shadowy shape, fancily dressed but clouded in smoke, appears. Well, my word, if it isn't Durango Fortescue. I'm not certain, Durango, where you are, but I'm having a mighty hard time finding you.
I assure you, O Muse, it is not due to any deception on my part. I have found myself in a most inexplicable land.
It would seem you smell death and destruction. Wonderful, but I feel like perhaps you're not holding up your end of the bargain, Fortescue. I haven't felt a single new soul head this way.
But, O Muse, I was just moments ago attempting to make an offering to your person from a font of power in this strange land.
Quite peculiar. Well, I would do everything in my power to escape this strange land, Fortescue, for you belong to me. And the figure suddenly appears behind you, a clawed black hand is just wrapping around your shoulder. No one else, Durango.
I assure you, O Muse, I have not forgotten the terms of our arrangement.
Good, good. Well, how can I assist you?
Oh, Muse, I find myself quite beset with unfortunate circumstance in this land. There are evils on all sides, and our chances of escape are seeming slimmer by the day. I would implore you for whatever help you can offer. Of course, you shall name the price, and Durango shall provide.
Hmm. Well, given the circumstances and my shocking lack of recuperation from this bargain, I'm remiss to offer you anything, but what's another 10 years, yeah?
Wait against the possibility of never escaping this dreary place. It is but a pittance, O Muse.
One more decade closer to my eternal servitude. I promise you'll enjoy it, Durango. I promise you. And the figure appears again, whirling around in this dark void. Well, I think I have something. And as that clawed hand just snaps, and the other appears, a lute, a mandolin, stark contrast to your own, which by all means was fine, but this inlaid with gold, gems, painted, and you've never seen anything like it.
Durango reaches out gingerly, almost hesitant.
He snaps again, and that scroll appears before you and unfurls.
Yes, O Muse, I am familiar with the routine, as they say. Durango lifts his index finger to his mouth and pricks the finger on one of his pointed teeth. Reaches out and makes his mark in an infernal text. Of course, O Muse, I would expect that should I be able to offer you more of the wayward souls of this land, perhaps this could count against my debt.
Well, that's always been the arrangement, Fortescue, but I find myself severely lacking in that department, so I would encourage you to utilize your new gift to the best of your ability.
In this case, O Muse, your wisdom is exceeded only by your taste. And his eyes are locked on this mandolin.
Well, a deal's a deal, as they say. Good luck.
You shall not regret this arrangement, my benefactor.
As he hands the mandolin over to you, it feels light in your hand, but a weight of a decade of your own life given. And he vanishes. But as he does, the air around you still remains black. This odd heaviness. As another voice reverberates through this perpetual void. I am afraid that your patron has no power here, Fortescue. Why continue to waste such potential? Why continue to serve a creature who cannot help you in your time of need. I can make you stronger. And with that, you whirl, and suddenly that image, that tall, pale man with the black hair, the same one that grabbed you in the alley, what is one dark lord for another, Durango? And here you will be free of your contract. For in my domain, there is only one master.
I was unaware that you are in a possession of such gifts, O Lord Strahd.
I bear many gifts, Durango, and all of mine come with eternal gratification, not consequence. Think about it.
This is a most interesting conversation, O Lord Strahd. Perhaps best continued at another time. I have much to consider.
I look forward to having more intimate conversation. Meet me at my castle. The invitation still stands. And bring those meddlesome friends of yours. In particular, that cleric, that paladin. I would love to get to know him better.
A most
And then
lordly invitation, Lord Strahd. I shall consider it.
And in that moment, suddenly the world just fades back in, and you are back on that path. You stumble for a second as you're just suddenly back in that reality, that normal space, as if no time had passed. Tensveta, mid-sentence, just continues from where he left off, and in your hands, the mandolin.
Durango's going to do his best to conceal the mandolin for now, seeing his eyes darting about, see if anybody's noticed.
Would it be noticeable?
I don't know. I make a perception check.
Dirty 20.
I mean, I guess I would take a little bit of faith on your part. Would you have been following Durango? Would you have been watching him?
I mean, I told him to go ahead of me whenever we left the hill.
I would say, with a 20, you don't really see much, other than suddenly, just in a moment, Durango has his lute in his hand, right, which is common. It's fairly typical. He plays it often as he's traveling, but it just suddenly just seemed to appear, and you know that he's gifted with some magic, and so it may be a new trick or a new ability that he's picked up, or maybe he had it the whole time and you just weren't paying attention. But then you realize that it's not his normal one. It seems to be a new one, and finely crafted and inlaid with gold. And he quickly sort of looks around, his eyes dart around all of you. He throws you a coy smile as he just puts it and ties it back to his back and covers it with his cloak.
Won't say anything. Noted.
I also joined in on that perception check because I would have been scanning the entire area as we were walking.
What did you roll?
Natural or dirty 20 as well.
All right, same thing.
Paul is completely oblivious, just walking. Hey, if you would have listened to me the whole time, that tree would have been down. We would have been on this road. We would have been back hour ago.
Yeah, well, at the same time, if you had seen the fucking roots that were going through the entire ground, maybe you would have understood what I was talking about. But I digress. It doesn't fucking matter what I have to say.
Just going back. Ash has got nothing for this, surprisingly enough.
Yeah,
Just
so
annoyed
you guys
grunts.
make your way back to the winery. It is again filled with life. Many of the younger kids now are back to playing like normal. They're playing around outside while several of the family members work up above. Several of those ravens swoop around and caw, and they stare down at you. As you arrive, the older man sees you and nods with a bit of a smile as he writes something in another journal, looking over the supply. Huh. Well, it seems to have gone quickly.
Well,
Any trouble?
Not any more than expected.
Yeah, it's a couple of twig sort of monsters that you're familiar with at this point. We're not entirely sure the tree. We chopped it down. We're not entirely sure it's dead though. So we might want to like on occasion check it out, make sure it's not regrowing or nothing.
If you have something
yes,
to poison it, it may be a good idea. Just put some like on top of the raw wood or whatever. I don't know.
it's usually best to avoid the hill. But I will. Perhaps we will monitor it over the course of the next month or so. And keep an eye on the progress. I'm not certain anything in this earth, short of divinity itself, could truly kill such an evil entity.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. So, just like a flyby, and I just like elbow in the ribs real quick. You get it? Flyby. Clever.
Yeah, something.
I regret these decisions more and more each day. But, anyways, where to next for you and your companions?
Well, the burgomaster of the town that we visited on your delivery route, he seemed to be quite demanding of the skills of the great Durango Fortescue. And who am I to deny the people what they want?
Yeah, cautious of that, Abby. We have few eyes in the city of Kresk. But something is off there.
Something off everywhere you go.
But if you leave now, you should be able to make it before nightfall.
Should you have any other insights to offer us on this place, the great Durango would be, of course, in your eternal debt.
Little else. We are typically not allowed inside the city. We deliver wine to the gate, supposedly for the requested by the abbey, but other
You couldn't
than
even
that,
fly over.
I mean, we have our eyes in the sky, but they are, we can only see so much.
What do they kill the ravens that land on the steeple and stuff? That seems a bit much.
Fortunately for sport. For most, it is considered bad luck. Clever marketing on our part to kill ravens in Barovia. But still, something at that abbey is, again, it is off.
We got a wagon. Am I crazy? We just riding horses? We walking? What are we doing?
we're walking.
Oh,
Bad
fuck.
wagon.
Well, I mean, can't do it right now, but we ever needed a horse in the future, I might be able to help. Kind of unexpected happenings the last time I tried it, though.
Unexpected how?
You're familiar with a horse, right? He's got a mane and skin and fur and hooves and tail.
Yep.
The brave circle, everyone.
Thank you. Imagine that, none of that. It was just, skeletal. Yeah. Like, it weren't dead, it was standing, but it were, you know. I mean, it might still work, we could try, you know, he's magic, he's not real horse.
I would say if we need it, but not gonna lie, it's kind of freaky. You're riding a dead but not dead horse around here.
We just saw a tree that bled actual blood, and you think a dead horse is going to be creepy.
I mean, both of those things are creepy, but that's my point, is that the general population...
I'm not going to say what I want to say.
out.
We just need to decide if we're going to get some horses in a wagon or not. I need to know if I'm going to need to take care of my shoes later.
You're gonna need to take care of your shoes later.
Got it. Maybe summon your horse and let Durango ride the fucker or something.
Like I said, I can't do it right now, but maybe tomorrow if we find it useful.
As loath as I am to walk, my friends, I do fear that Mr. Ash raises a most valid point. I would hate for there to be a misunderstanding with the locals, seeing Durango perched on such a creature. Perhaps yourselves could get away with such a thing, but a man of my appearance, that there is too much room for misconception.
If you wanna give me the time to try and do so, I could try and make like fake balding for it or something like that, and make it look like it actually has fur and shit.
Well, we might have some downtime tonight after dinner with the Burgermeister, yeah?
Seems a bit late to do so if we're planning on summoning the whole... Oh, well, you said you couldn't do it today anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. Sure, we can have it for the future, whatever. Not like I have anything else to fucking do.
I'm sorry, is you being trapped in Barovia is an inconvenience? You get a little testy that, you know, it sounds better, I can't go home and I'm gonna make a thing for a horse.
He just flips him off.
Is Tens in summer right now?
Yeah.
I was like, I can't remember if he's in summer or not.
This is my favorite.
Ash is just gonna start walking.
Yeah.
How are we going to carry all your arrows?
Weren't most of those already sorted and
I thought we were
disposed
gonna
of?
I thought we were gonna leave a case here, leave a case at the Abbey, leave a case. Yeah.
Well, I guess the winery's got all the cases now, yeah?
If you give me a minute, I could maybe I could have somebody else carry a little bit, but it won't be much.
Listen, I literally picked up one of those flipping arrows in the middle of that fight, and it literally just...
You can say the word fuck. It's okay.
I'm trying to watch myself. There's children present, okay?
He looks at the little... I imagine they've heard worse. Probably from me in the past 2 days.
Anyway, my arrow fell apart. I'm not real keen on keeping many of those around. No offense to the keen eye for fletching that the great Durango Fortescue has.
My apologies, Sir Ash. I should never have selected such advanced arrows for such a novice archer. This is my mistake.
You know, both of you have an issue admitting when you're wrong. Both of you.
Mr. Tens, I assure you, should I ever be wrong, you shall be the first to know.
Then allow me to prove you wrong this evening. Instead of making fake barding for some sort of ghost horse, I'll make a bunch of arrows that are perfect and compare them to the ones that you bought. How about that?
This sounds like a most productive use of your time. Perhaps it could occupy your mouth as well.
Impossible.
Oh, it got spicy in here.
Cole's just got like this big grin. Just keep it going, mate. It's scary. Just keep walking and talking.
Ash is just gonna hand off a little pouch of, well, if you're gonna make arrows, here's a bunch of arrowheads that I knocked off. The very good arrows that Durango got me.
He's gonna take the pouch and like pull one out and like see that there's like notches and on one side of it and just goes, see? Bullshit.
It's not often that I feel like socially awkward because that's kind of my place in the world. I appreciate you getting the arrows. And I appreciate you making me arrows. I want to be friends with everybody right now. This is weird for me.
I assure you, Mr. Ash, there is no ill will on the part of the great Durango Fortescue.
You could have fooled me with the arrows that you bought.
Well, I simply thought that perhaps it would be better to emphasize quantity rather than quality.
Never true.
If we weren't walking everywhere, I might agree.
See? There he is again. He's wrong. But he won't admit to it.
These are some lovely tricks you have picked up, Mr. Tens. Perhaps you could summon some horses with that mouth as well.
Give me a few months, maybe. I'm not a holy man like your friend is, supposedly.
Durango
Holy
just smiles and repeats something in Infernal and continues walking.
Well, what'd you say in Infernal for us understanding folk?
Oh, something along the lines of within a couple months you'll be in the ground.
Cole at this point is just like holding on to his ribs, laughing. Just...
Ash is gonna drop back to Cole. If Durango keeps buying me these kind of arrows, you're gonna end up more holy than you did that night at the camp.
He was just trying to teach you a lesson, mate. Just use what you can of him. Have tends to make you more. He knows.
I know, that makes it hurt so much more.
I tell you what, I'll teach you a few key phrases in an Infernal at some point.
Deal.
Fuck the absolute shit out of him.
I have never been more excited for anything in my adult life.
As you all continue to make your way down through the winery and back into the Spholic Woods, that path that leads to the main road, turning from muddy dirt to broken cobblestone. Tensveta, Ash, suddenly you catch sight of a figure in the distance, walking slowly in the same direction that you're headed. At first, it just seems to be sort of shuffling along. You see the glint of metal armor of some sort in the pale overcast light.
How far away?
Maybe 40, 50 feet.
I'm gonna connect to him telepathically and just say, hey, don't be afraid, you've got people behind you. Just wanted to let you know of our presence before you got spooked.
You attempt to commune but something feels off.
Lighten the sunblade.
As sees that happens, she's gonna toss a look back at Cole and Durango and just give him the head nod, and then he's gonna dip off into the woods and kind of try to stealth into the edge of the woods, keeping pace with tens.
You get closer, Ash, trying to keep the woods, that choking mist from getting too close to your back. You dart through the tree line and get closer and closer, and you see the figure now with a large metal broadsword just dragging alongside it in the ground as it shuffles along the path. Broken bits of flesh and bone appear in between glints of rusted chainmail armor. At first, it seems just a regular, like a zombie, sort of like the ones you'd seen before, some sort of walking corpse that seems to permeate this land. But looking closer, you see now peering through the trees and trying to keep your distance, its eyes remain forward as it drags the sword, and the symbol emblazoned on the shield loosely hanging at its side with that silver dragon. And that's where we'll pick up after the break. So thank you, everybody, for sticking in there and watching us play Curse of Strahd. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. Maybe you're a little spooked at home. I'm working on it. Of course, make sure you're spending your elf eggs wisely or frivolously. I don't know. I don't know what the elf egg market's going to do.
Well,
I don't think we
know
have
what
a
the elf
wise
egg
purchase
market looks
option.
like these days. Yeah. But yeah, no, there's a Steam game tonight. We're giving away, what was it? Tabletop
Playground.
Yeah, that's the one. Play backgammon with your mom while she gets drunk, right? Just like my childhood. But
Identical.
So make sure you do that, and of course, we'll catch up with you guys in just a few. Give us about 10 minutes. We'll be right back. All right, and welcome back, everyone. So where we left off, you guys were walking down this path. Jay, you and Tens spotted someone a little ways ahead. Getting a good look at it, you see this skeletal figure in this silver dragon armor, dragging a great sword behind him as he just shuffles along the road in the same direction you were all headed.
Given that I got no response from the telepathic message, I'm going to pull out a marble, and I'm going to toss it up in the air. And as I toss it up in the air, it begins to glow like a soft purple before a hand appears around it as I cast Mage Hand. And I'm just going to like have the Mage Hand gently shove it on the shoulder. So I'm like, hey, don't you ignore me.
There's no range limit on that, or no?
Mage Hand is 30 feet, so whenever I get within 30 feet of
okay.
it, yeah.
Perfect. All right, then why don't I go ahead and do this?
And I can only shove, like, 10
Listen,
pounds.
I get what you're saying. I just don't care.
Life of a DM. No, I understand.
No, I understand completely. I just
don't care.
Particularly when it comes to tens,
That's valid.
30 feet, you say?
So I'll need to be at... Oh, okay. Perfect.
The figure lurches forward just a tad before it whirls around, that greatsword just spinning and grinding and sparking on stones in the dirt as it spins towards you. Whirls it up in front of its face for a moment before kind of flourishing it down again. Whom do you serve?
I mean, really, myself. A lot.
That's not usually something you want to go around admitting, mate.
I'm just being honest.
You don't get it.
I don't.
Whom do you serve?
Does not Strahd count?
Just peers at you with these lifeless, hollow eyes, this sunken face marred with rot and decay and an almost spectral form. This thin, dim blue light shining. Good.
Hey, look. He like slaps Cole's metal shoulder with the back of his hand and just says, "I was right again."
All who oppose Strahd should make haste to Argon Volstalt.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that last bit? You have a bit of something in your throat.
Just bits of like maggots and worms just coming pouring out of his mouth.
That would explain what's in your throat.
Argon Volstalt. Join the Order. Fight the devil. And with that, it turns and just continues to shuffle along, dragging that sword behind it.
It is gonna jog up to be like right behind him, and just be like, "Hey, but where's it at? You didn't really give me a whole lot of information on that one. You just said, hey, go to this place and you find what you're looking for."
Stark quickness, beguiling the shuffle and the slowness of its walk. That great sword just flies up in front of your face.
Oh,
as he just points in a direction off to the east.
Do you have an address that I can ask someone for?
Sword clambers to the ground again and just continues to drag along behind it.
He turns around and throws his hands up in the air.
We're not going to comment on the maggots, and no, we're just.
I already did. I said there was something in his throat, and he spat out maggots, and I was like, "Well, there it is."
As recalled, perhaps our new friend would be interested in what you carry him. And Durango holds his hands out in front of him, and like an image of the holy symbol that he was gifted appears for a moment before disappearing.
I think that had more to do with our other friends. Eh?
I have trouble telling one holy corpse from another.
Yeah, these guys, if I'm not mistaken on the shield that's the, what was that, Order of the Silver Dragon?
Yeah, right.
I get what we mean now, and you'll see when you see him. This is... just on a, real level, Strahd ain't gonna be no joke, is he?
Never thought he was gonna be. Ash comes back out of the edge of the woods. What was the name of that place that he just said? DM, I know that all our characters in character understood, but other characters,
completely.
I don't know that we understood. What was the name that he said?
Argyn Vostholt. It is Argyn Vostholt.
Argan
So it's not that easy to understand, no matter who you are and in what language or how many centuries you've been dead.
Argenvolstock.
Holt.
Volstolt.
Vostholt.
Argan, like the element.
Vost.
You know, like
host with a V.
like
then
Vost.
Yeah, okay. I'm good. I'm good
And
now. I'm
halt,
good now.
like halt.
I feel weird just walking by this guy, but if he's going the same direction as us, then
Maybe we could ask him where he's going. Hey, dead dude with the maggot face, where you going?
nothing.
Honestly, we could use him as bait. He's already dead. We don't gotta worry about him dying again, I guess.
No, that's just rude. But I like it.
Mr. Ash raises a very good point. If I could add, as long as we are able to stay upwind.
Another valid point. But yeah, I say we just kind of trail behind him a little ways. That way, if there's somebody watching the trail, bandits, whatever.
Well, if we do that though, we might not get to the chapel in time, and be stuck outside the walls for the night.
He is moving pretty slow, regardless of how fast that sword moved.
DM, do we think that his pace would get us to the city on time?
Absolutely
Didn't
not. No, I mean, the
didn't
guy's
think
moving
so.
at maybe half your speed.
Yeah. It was an idea. Let's just pass him up and...
Cole, you 10 stories yesterday about, not yesterday, maybe? I don't remember. A couple nights ago. About, your past. Would you have ever met anybody like this, where they would have not allowed you to go the direction they said not to go? Like, if you went in a direction that was not the way that somebody said to go, would they stop you?
I think it might be different, mate. We weren't no holy order. We were sort of special ops.
He looks at the guy with the big sword. Whatever. And just marches past him. You're muted.
As you walk past, your eyes can't help but dart to the left. And the face just dark, just continuing to march forward, just peering off into the distance.
Small swirl of blue goes down the back of his hair. But he keeps his composure and keeps moving.
Understanding. Go ahead.
Just going to try to keep a wide berth.
As Ash walks by, picking up that this guy is the Order of the Silver Dragon. In Draconic, he's gonna ask the guy, "Who did this to you?"
The whole neck creaks as he turns to you. And then in Draconic he responds, "We are the Wardens. We will stay and fight his darkness for eternity."
You make a commitment to fight him like this?
The head just snaps back and just continues to drag forward.
Huh. Ash is just going to catch up with the others.
Tens will let the sword burn back out. Be just a hilt again.
Okay. So a few more hours of walking. Eventually, you turn, and the figure is no longer behind you. Whether outpaced or just vanished into the mist, it's difficult to say. Back once again across that old stone bridge, and you see that weathered signpost next to the road with the 3 arms, each one branching, pointing in different directions. One towards the town of Kresk, the other through the woods to Vallaki, and to the south, the Wizard of Wines.
Ten slaps the one that says Kresk and heads that direction.
Turning west a few more hours, the woods are quiet. Although, again, Tens and Ash, you feel eyes. Somewhere in the midst, in the woods. You look about, a raven caws and flies off into the air, but something different. Nothing close, nothing alarming, just eyes.
I hate to do this now. I really don't want to do this right now. Wanted to save it for the city.
Save it.
Yeah, but if we're about to get jumped, I'd rather just not get surprised.
I think it's the birds, mate.
Nah, I don't think it is.
This feels different.
It does.
This feels different than the birds.
Feels different than the dead guy back there too. But then again, he had like an eye missing, so that makes sense.
And this isn't like anything that like we would have like just the general presence we're feeling. Like this is something new, something specific that we're feeling. Or
Make an
picking up
insight
on.
check.
Ooh.
I was gonna say, can I roll on alongside that?
Yep.
22.
12.
Ash, you've spent a significant amount of time in the woods as both hunter and prey. And this feeling creeps up your spine, like, and you've felt it before. You know the sensation. You've seen it in the wild. It is creature or creatures stalking. Not certain if prey is worth the time or not, but just watching. Not certain if you are an easy meal or a fight they'd rather not get into.
Something is sizing us up.
Sims will light the sword.
I don't know if it's looking for a fight. I just spent a lot of time hiding from a lot of people. Also, spent a lot of time not hiding, and just being in some seedy places where people think they can get the upper hand on you. It feels like that. Like a couple guys sitting in the tavern, giving you a look before you get up, seeing if they can make a few extra coins at the end of the night. Just by following you out, taking for theirs what's yours.
Well, maybe if we make a big enough show, we'll stay away. And I'm gonna grab the spear and kind of just start clanking my shield with it and tossing it in front. And during this time, I'd like to spend the next hour attuning it.
Okay.
I'm gonna sling the axe that I've just kind of been carrying and admiring the craft work of the vines and plants on the shaft. Kind of sling that makeshift sling it behind my quiver and just carry my bow in hand.
Why, Sir Cole, did you say put on a show? Durango brandishes his new mandolin as nonchalantly as he can, and starts playing on it loudly. Kind of an aggressive tune, as if, challenging things to come out and face him.
Ash is gonna make eye contact with Durango, raise an eyebrow, look down at the mandolin, look back at him.
Yeah, Durango just kind of shoots him a wry grin, but offers no explanation.
Tens does a similar thing, but he's going to start snapping rapidly, and he's going to make the area around us with prestidigitation smell like rotten flesh.
Okay. As you all continue your walk through the woods, that feeling never really subsides, although it just becomes less apparent. Until, suddenly as you begin to round and the woods begin to clear, it dissipates. The walled city of Kresk appearing before you now as you head down that steep hill to that large metal gate. The sun hangs low in the western sky as it is nearly nighttime. It appears you have arrived just in time.
Go up and
Durango thrashes out a couple loud chords towards the gatehouse. Hello, my friends.
Oi, who goes there?
Surely you jest, my friend. You could never mistake the great Durango Fortescue for any other.
A chill air kind of blows through the valley and down the hill, forcing you to clutch your cloak a little bit tighter as you walk and stand before this large metal gate. These two square towers looming before you. Oi, Fortescue, you said?
My friend, there is no mistake.
All right, we'll give us a moment. You hear some clanging of the metal and that heavy iron chain moving somewhere in the gatehouse as the gate sort of swings open just a hair. Two guards come out to greet you. One of them, a sort of middle-aged woman, fairly leathered skin, appears through narrow eyes. Well, Burgomeister told us to keep an eye out for you. Didn't expect you so soon. Well, you're welcome. Oh no, after you.
It is not in the nature of the great Durango Fortescue to disappoint.
Keep your hands to yourselves. No trouble, you see. Even friends of the Burgermeister might find themselves in a spot of trouble. Right? We don't take kindly to strangers. We don't abide any nonsense.
We look
Oh,
like trouble to
trust me.
you.
You do.
Do we look like nonsense?
A little bit of that, too.
Oh, you attend your task with diligence and expertise. I shall put in a good word for you with the Burgomeister. Come, let us proceed.
But, all right. Anyways, just follow the road. First house on the left. It's a large one. Can't miss it. That'd be the Burgermeisters.
Durango bows dramatically, a very theatric, almost like he's taking a bow on stage, flourishing his cloak behind him.
They sort of nod, and these two heavy crossbows on their back. They just eye you as you walk past.
Thanks.
As that iron gate behind you closes with a mist-shrouded village beyond the wall. Honestly, nothing more than a scattering of humble wooden cottages along dirt roads, and stretched between them is stands of snow-dusted pine trees, tree after tree. Honestly, it looks like barely a village. It's mostly forest inside the wall. To the northeast, gray cliffs rise sharply, and the road winding up to the abbey. It's easy to see from where you stand now. That old cold air just sort of whips through the valley. Several hundred paces down the road, you see, those fairly humble cottages along the right side of the street. You see folk just staring as the four of you pass. And then the larger, the largest building by far in the town next to the abbey, but still relatively modest compared to the previous Burgomeister's mansions. And again, thatched roof, wooden exterior. Another guard out front stops you as you approach. May I help you?
Hello, my friend. I, of course, am the great Durango Fortescue. These are my companions. The Burgomeister is expecting us. We have his express invitation to join him this evening.
Say, one more time, you said Fortescue.
Yes, indeed, the great Durango Fortescue.
Please give me a moment. As he turns and enters the building, the door shuts and locks behind him. A few moments later, it opens to that tall, noble man. Even now in the late evening, his finery is as elegant as you remember it previously, adorned with flashy silver and gold. Well, if it isn't the great Durango Fortescue and your heroic companions, well, I am so pleased that you decided to take me up on my offer and venture to the city of Kresk. But of course,
Hello
come
again,
in,
my
come in.
friend.
Enter. And he bids you inside.
Durango kind of hangs out by the doorway and gestures his friends through the door one at a time. And as they pass by, he's cleaning them up, making sure everybody's presentable as discreetly as he can, giving everybody a once over.
Yeah, make sure you get over there. I think I fell at some point. So ground in.
But cold, this shall never do.
Oh, I know better. Right.
As Tins passes the Burgomeister, he'll just nod curtly and just say, "Thank you, Mr. Kerskov."
Of course. The interior of the cottage is also relatively humble, although there are some fine paintings, a stone fireplace. It is sort of a large gate room, a large great room. I'm sorry, as you enter. A long dining table has been set up, and you can see that the family has gathered there for dinner. It seems you have arrived just in time, and settings are being placed down for you. I hope you will join us for dinner. We're just about to settle in.
But of course, my friend, your hospitality, it is legendary. We would be fools to refuse, of course, of course. And he turns to everyone else and gestures towards seats.
Yes, of course. Where are my manners? This is my wife, Anna, and he points to a relatively a little more lesser dressed, but still relatively elegant figure. She has dark black hair with streaks of gray running through it, and it's pulled tight and high. And she gives you a pleasant smile as she sort of curtsies. Yeah,
Pleasure
to make your acquaintance. Yes, of course.
This, of course, must be the jewel of Barovia, of course. I am the great Durango Fortescue at your service.
She blushes slightly and puts her hand out.
Durango takes it by the fingertips as he, bows very dramatically, like his face is almost at the ground at this point. Of course, my manners, where are they? These are my companions, the brave Sir Mavvin.
As you know, we'd always be traveling by the great Durango Fortescue, inseparable.
Yes, a stalwart companion in the struggle against the darkness. To my left here, this is none other than the Tensveta Neyota, the collector of tales.
Indeed I am. Pleasure.
And Sveta Neyota. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
And in the shadows, glaring out, this is Mr. Ash. Do not let his exterior fool you. He is, in fact, quite a dour.
Thank you for letting us eat with you.
Of course. Please be seated, all of you. And isn't this wonderful? It's been some time since we've had so many people all at once in the home.
Why is that?
I am afraid that time and age have not been kind to us, and one should never outlive their children, but we have been unfortunately struck with many hard times. But that is a sad tale for sad times, and this is not a sad time, Mr. Ash. Suffice to say, we are pleased at the company.
My apologies. Again, thank you for letting us join you.
Of course. But do sit. So, tell me all of your stories. Where have you come from? What have you seen? How is Barovia treating you?
Barovia is a land of constant surprises.
That it is. Elegantly put. As you can see here, we keep ourselves quite well fortified from the outside world.
You must forgive me for saying so. Do not take this the wrong way, but I could not help but notice that it takes a strong and stalwart people to stand in the face of such conditions.
Well, we are favored. Yeah. Not only by the blessings of the Morning Lord, but by our fortunate distance from Strahd. It seems we are of no concern here in Kresk, which is how we prefer it.
Tins will abruptly stand up and just say, I apologize. I am in a terrible mood, and I need to move to the washroom if you don't mind for just a moment. Could you possibly point me to where that is?
Yes, no, of course. I'm sure you all had a very long trip. Any motions down the hall?
Okay. Tins will just kind of look at him, and give a look of, really, that's all you're going to tell me? And then start making his way down the hallway, looking for the washroom, opening up doors one at a time until he finds it.
It doesn't take long. It's not a very large building, right? So it's So you take it's a short hallway, several paintings, and you can see now, particularly of the children, of varying ages. Looks like at one point in time, 4 of them in total. As you pass, and then the first door that you open is a washroom. Again, modest in size and manner.
Tins is just gonna step in and like start washing his hands in whatever there is available, and kind of like slapping his face. He's going to focus for a little bit and force his emotions the way he needs to. Come out probably like 5 minutes later in autumn.
Okay. As you open the door and you take a step out, you hear that sharp, shrill dong, 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 dong. So that those church bells begin to ring suddenly and erratically. Without missing a beat, the Burgermeister turns to the rest of you. So, please tell me everything. What of your tales? Regale us with story, Master Fortescue.
Before Fortescue can say anything, Ash interrupts and goes, "You were drawn here by the bells. They're so peculiar."
I thought, could have swore your elven friend said he needed to meet with someone. But yes, it's the bells are from the abbey. The abbot is a secluded and eccentric individual, but to be honest, none of us go to the abbey anymore. So, suffice to say, I'm not certain, but
So sorry. Forgive my manners. Durango.
Thank you, my friend. Tell me, would you prefer to hear the stories from within the boundaries of your realm, or shall I tell you tales of the lands beyond?
I believe I know all the stories of Barovia, but in particular, I guess, whatever you think would be best to entertain us.
Well, then, perhaps I shall tell you the story of none other than the brave Sir Mavvin. And with that, Durango, like in one smooth motion, he leaps up, so he's standing on his chair. The mandolin is ready to play. He gives a couple of quick strums and launches into a song about the glorious exploits of none other than Sir Mavvin.
And as he's doing it behind him, reenacting different parts for accents. So, banging the shield on and roaring, mockingly anyway. I'm not trying to overpower Fortescue's performance at all, but and clashing and avoiding the furniture and the chairs and just really accenting the atmosphere of our several battles with goblins and exercising of demons and all that.
Ash is just gonna lean over to whoever's sitting the closest to him and go, "You think they could just tell a story while they ate, but it does get kind of interesting."
It is it is wonderful. We have so infrequently do we get guests here in Kresk, and our town is humble. We do not have an inn per se, but I would hope that after dinner you let me at least put you up for the evening.
As soon as that is said, Tins appears behind his chair in a puff of like autumn leaves, and he just kind of leans on it and pulls it out. Says, "Sorry, just needed a moment, you know." And he kind of leans down into the chair, almost like leg up, and he just starts dragging food over onto his plate.
Marvelous, and he claps. You're all so talented. How did you come to find yourself here in this place?
He picks up what I'm assuming is some sort of fowl leg, and he just takes a huge bite out of it and just. But actually, we all met at Ava's camp. You know, Madam Ava.
I'm not familiar.
One of them.
Vistani?
Yeah, exactly.
Got our fortunes told. It was great.
Fortunes, really? And what did they say?
Well, that's part of why I wanted to come and speak with you, because I wanted to hear a few different stories of your own. Because I've heard a few about your Saint Markovia? Is that her name? Yeah?
Yes, ancient tale. Saint Markovia was an abbot, the original abbot for the abbey. Fought against Strahd and learned, as many of us do, that it's just a foolish errand. Yes, but for some time she was a brilliant light in a dark and bleak future, at least as it's told.
Oh, tell me, whenever she died, did she... Oh, sorry, this is delightful. I've had potatoes with this much butter in them in so long. The abbess, I'm just speaking of, was she to be married? Ever?
No. I don't, and Sir Cole, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe it's permitted for one of her station.
I don't know.
Well, so you sort of dedicate yourself and emotionally till I find her, so it's not room for anything else or relationships or nothing like that.
Well,
in the priesthood, anyway.
That sounds awful.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's why, you know, some place can be dodgy sometimes, but when it comes to just general practice, yeah, you know, I can marry.
Anna sort of pipes up for a moment. I would avoid that dreadful abbey if I were you. It's, you know, nothing holy takes place there anymore. That's for that I'm certain.
Well, then change your pace. Oh, sort of. Sidestepping that conversation. Is anyone getting married anytime soon? Just here in town. I'm curious. Sorry, that wine gotta get.
You don't mind him. Sometimes he just asks his questions. It's best just humor him. You'll have his fill.
He read a little too much.
As far as I'm aware, nothing that I've seen. Although there's been talk of several of the younger village folk, and it is, you know, around that time when teenagers start to, you know, think of such commitments, but nothing.
Sex. You can say the word sex.
I think he meant marriage. That's what you were talking about.
I most certainly did. Yes.
Right. Sorry.
You'll have to forgive him.
Commitments are really weird where I'm from, so apparently it's different.
Mr. Tens, do you do things differently where you're from?
Very.
Oh,
sometimes depends on where you're at, but yes.
And where would that be?
I am from the. Are you aware of the Feywild?
I have never heard of such a place.
So he like has a leg that he has switched over and propped up. Takes a bite out of it and just says, "So I don't know if you're aware of how like planes work, right? The planes of existence, right? There's where we're at now. I think the material plane, right? Well, there's places that are like opposite and the same, like mirroring the material plane, right? Well, there's one that's called the Feywild, and it's full of life and terrifyingly beautiful things. You ever seen anything that's just as ravishing as that you just you can't help but just stare at because of how beautiful it is? It's like that, but everywhere. It's unbearable, frankly. That's where I'm from.
She smiles wide, and there's like crow's, the bit of crow's feet as her age shows for a moment, and her eyes are sort of glassy. It sounds absolutely marvelous.
I'm gonna pop my detect thoughts now.
She is surface level, just
For now.
entranced by the story and envisioning, attempting to envisioning this magical place that you've painted, and you get the feeling that it's while it's a fairly simple life here in Kresk, maybe not quite protected. Nobody really leaves. These stories are the most excitement they've had in a long time.
Well, here. How about this? How about, and he finishes off the leg, polishing it to a white bone, gristle and all, and just kind of sets the plate to the side, and just goes, "Tell me what you think about this." And he will repeat Madame Ava's fortune telling of the tempter. So Madame Ava told our fortunes, right? And she gave us a bunch of cards, told us everything that was going to happen, right? Well, one of them happened to be the tempter, and supposedly someone here is going to help us greatly in a battle against the darkness, right? Not that we're saying that we're going to fight darkness. It sounds like way too much work right now, and frankly speaking, your food, wonderful, brilliant, has made me a little lethargic, and I could use a nap. But there's mention of wedding bells or death knell, and considering that your abbey is very, very erratic with its bells, which I want to talk to someone about because that's fucking awful. Sorry. Apologies. Language. It was mentioned that there was a mountainside abbey where I would find a woman who is more than the sum of her parts. You want stories? Be a
They
part
sort of
of
look.
one.
They look confused at one another. Well, I must tell you, Tinsveta, I wish that I could be of assistance. Again, none of us venture up to the abbey anymore. The bells are unnerving, but you get used to them. Not certain what schedule the abbot is. Anyways,
What's the abbot's name?
We've always just called him the abbot. Unfortunately, I don't know.
You're the Burgermeister. Shouldn't you know that one? Sorry, again, if I'm misstepping. I'm not trying to be rude.
We have a tenuous peace in a very dangerous world. They don't bother us up there. We don't bother them down here. Nothing happens. Well, Dimitri, just tell them about the noises. Yes, Some folk have come to say that they've heard inhuman laughter and all kinds of shrill shrieking that come from the abbey. But again, it's been no danger to us. We have not. Again, we've had no disturbances.
Other than shriekery and laughter.
Stories, and to be honest, I believe scary, spooky ghost stories that children tell each other. There's not much to do besides milking cows and chopping woods here in Kresk.
That allow me to tell you a scary story that we've recently encountered. On the road, we met a guy who had his visage was very disturbing. Portions of his face were rotten away, and maggots came pouring from his mouth in torrents. Little bits of etherealness amongst his throat made his voice very hard to discern what he meant in terms of verbiage. He dragged a great and mighty sword and shield along his side. Does that not sound terrifying to you? Another scary story?
Right, terrifying, to be honest. Again, we don't leave these walls. I've never seen such a thing. Primarily, we are wary of wolves, Master Neyota.
Just
He
a quick
looks at his
question.
empty cup.
It's a quick question. Sorry for all that, Like I said, we're still getting used to him. And we know that such noble owls aren't used to such, like you said, he came from a different world. We apologize for the crassness, eh? But just a quick question about them bells. Are they always as equally erratic? Or is there times where it's like more erratic than others, or are they just constant?
Quite frankly, there seems to be no discernible pattern, rhyme, or reason to it at all. It just seems to be whimsy.
Because the alcohol was being delivered to the abbey, yeah?
Well, some of it goes to the town, and yes, every once in a while the abbot will send someone down to request wine, and again, we
Bet they got the bellman drunk.
could be. Could be they all just up there drunk and reveling and praying to a god that may or may not be listening. It is hard to say.
Huh.
Yeah. I understand that. Faith's tricky. That's all I had. Sorry
Life
to...
is tricky.
Everything's tricky. But these are happy times, are they not? It's very rare we get to entertain such owls and feast on such delectables. Let us continue our entertainment for the night. Durango!
Sir Cole, thank you. Thank you very much. With a lovely meal, I feel obligated to repay the favor to earn such a treat. Perhaps you would enjoy the musical stylings of the great Durango Fortescue.
Of course. And again, this is the most entertainment we've had in a significant amount of time. So please, I will pour wine and let us revel.
Yes, fill your cups and prepare yourself for the performance. And Durango takes a moment to, get his appearance in order thoroughly. Finds himself in an elevated position and launches into his usual routine, complete with all the supernatural pyrotechnics, light effects, everything he has to offer.
And there's a moment during the evening where Dimitri takes Anna's hand and they dance to the music slow, and it is a moment of happiness in what seems like a relatively sad and lonely existence for the both of them.
Ash is gonna take one of those moments to excuse himself to the washroom and try to do a quick once around, see if he sees like a study or anything, like a work desk or anything for the Burgomeister.
Make a perception check.
Perception.
There's like a 50-50 chance that Tens just passes out in the chair to the music.
23 on the perception.
Roll the die.
23. Yeah. So after a bit of sort of sneaking through past the washroom, you find, and it's open, a small library with a writing desk. It looks like a modest study.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick once through of the desk, see if I see anything on the Abbey, Strahd, anything useful. So what
Make
we're
an
doing.
investigation check.
And this is where I'm gonna fail. Oh no, 18.
18. So digging through very quickly, looking at the notes. Several of it, the majority of it is purchase agreements, land, finances, town coffers, meager requests, disputes between villagers. Nothing even remotely related to the Abbey. Actually, a stark lack of anything related to the Abbey or Strahd.
And on my way out, I'm gonna look at you said there was kind of like a library-esque study to where like had books and stuff.
It's the same room.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick pass along the books and see if I see anything that would be related to the Abbey.
You're saying 18. It's a lot of genealogy, land, claims, things like that. It's all life, birth records, death records.
These people are boring. And I'm gonna go back to the table and just hang out for the rest of the night.
So is the evening? No, go ahead, Durango.
I was going to say, around the time that Ash is returning, Durango started to weave a little bit of actual magic into his music, and he's casting enthrall on his audience. But his secondary mouth is singing out, harmonizing in a very subtle infernal, offering like an eldritch invitation, like he's trying to put them in a more receptive state, like leaving them open for the invitations of his muse, like he's trying to draw them into that kind of arrangement. Oh, you're muted.
I know. Thank you. Go ahead and cast a spell.
So using the mandolin, charm spells that imposes disadvantage on the wisdom saving throw, right?
Mm-hmm. That's not what I meant to do with the 13 and 18. Okay. Yeah. So, for the most part, they are, I guess, for lack of a better term, enthralled in the music. They are captivated by the performance. You can tell that they are significantly enjoying themselves. As far as what you're trying to open them to, I guess it's difficult to discern a reaction based on what you're imposing. But does any like darkness envelop the room, or something come and devour their souls? No. It's just their eyes begin to sort of glass over as the wine and the food and the music start to enrapture them, but they just continue to play along and sing and dance as long as you do. And Anna is visibly at this point getting weary and tired, but she's continuing to dance and enjoy the show, almost as if they are unable to stop for some weird reason.
Ma'am, you look tired. Let me help you to. You look exhausted. Let me.
I couldn't couldn't live with myself if I missed another minute of the song.
We'll we'll be here tomorrow. I think.
I thought our guests here invited us for the night. I thought, unless I was mistaken, don't let me invite us ourselves over. But I thought something like that was mentioned.
Yes, of course. Let me put my wife to bed, and I will show you to your chambers. Please, of course, we would love for you to be our guest for the evening. Dimitri takes Anna away.
Hey, Durango.
Mr. Tense,
The fuck did you get that mandolin from?
my friend, whatever could you mean? I have always had an instrument, yes?
Yes, but I'm not stupid. Weren't you playing a lute or a lyre before?
There is no deceiving you, Mr. Tense. After our encounter on the hill, yes, a spirit of the land reached out to me in gratitude and offered me this gift.
Insight check.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna insight the check out. I'm gonna insight that shit.
I
That'd
just
be
rolled an
versus deception.
28.
Good luck.
I rolled an intelligence check to see if I'd even notice. I did.
Ooh, a 9. God, that was almost so good.
Come on, borrowed talent. You got this, buddy. Be real deceptive. Oh, so close.
26 to 28. Yeah. Durango is very difficult to read, right? He's always got an air of half kidding, half serious. It's very difficult to tell, and he is very well practiced in his deception. But there is something in the way that he lingers, the spirit of the land. It just something doesn't add up. It doesn't feel, I don't know, maybe that he's being completely honest with you, but it's very difficult to tell.
This might be the one. Nah, it's not. You're lying.
Why, Mr. Tense, you wound me with such accusations.
Well, you burned me earlier. It's a fair trade.
I do not know what more you would wish for me to say.
Where'd you get the fucking mandolin, man? It's sweet. It is very nice. Look at the jewels on it and the filigree. It's phenomenal.
It is an exceptional piece, no? Perhaps you agree that Durango has a fine eye for instruments, if not fletching.
I haven't seen something like that since I was back home.
Well, my friend, you see, for a man like the great Durango Fortescue, the fates align, and such things have a way of finding him.
But how?
I wish that I could explain. Just as much as how
Just
I
do
play
it.
with the extra finger, I could not tell you if I could.
Just tell me where you got it. I just want to know.
My friend, I assure you, we were walking from the hill, and it appeared in my hands as if by magic. And with that, Durango disappears.
Hmm.
You're wasting your time. I appreciate it because I did the same thing. I did the same thing. I think that's why I stuck around. I think I was gonna like crack that nut one day.
I'm better at cracking nuts than you, though. And he, for emphasis, he cracks like a pecan and eats it.
Maybe you are. Yeah. To be honest, I didn't even know he had a different instrument. So maybe you are, but you know.
Look, here's how this works. To crack a nut, you have to be the harder nut.
Can we not talk about nuts?
No, you're the one that started it.
I said it once, and you keep continuing on. I'm quite uncomfortable.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm exhausted, and the wine is really getting to my head. I would like a bed.
Everybody's allowed to have their own secrets. As long as those secrets don't come up and bite everybody else.
Yes, but that one's expensive. And nice.
Listen. Rango is capable of things I ain't never seen before. He saved my butt on several occasions. I don't ask how he does it, mate.
I could say the same thing for you, and yet I still question you.
I think you question too much, actually.
Me?
Yeah.
I just want stories.
And sometimes things are just the way they are, and just, ain't no reason for them.
Not here. Yeah, that's how it is back home. That's not how it is here.
Well, it's no different with people, yeah? Can you explain how you are? Can you explain how...
Yes.
Freak?
I always find that most people are afraid of judgment. That's why they keep secrets. But it is late in the evening, yes? And I am afraid that my old bones will be judging me quite harshly in the morning. So, if you don't mind, I will show you to your chambers.
By all means.
Yes, of course.
Please, thank you. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate everything you've done for us this evening.
Oh, again, it was our pleasure and an absolute delight to me. Thank you. The wine, even just the small delivery, is a blessing. Yeah. So.
Why do you stop it at the gates? Just out of curiosity.
You said you've spent some time. I believe your friend regaled quite a terrible tale of a creature carrying a great sword down the road. Would you not build a wall?
Oh no, that part I'd get. But you stopped the wine cart at the gate. You didn't even I don't know. Usually you see a delivery all the way to wherever it needs to go.
We have maintained peace by being cautious. Strahd has spies everywhere, and they are... Well, when I was younger, of course, I spent a bit of time in Barovia and Wallachia. I shouldn't have to explain to you, I think, the nature of this land and the people that reside in it. So we have found it best and more prudent to keep ourselves quite guarded.
Well, I'm happy you didn't this time. Otherwise, you would have missed one hell of a show.
Me as well. But not all people are as easily identified and notably exceptional as you four. So, but with that, again, we can talk more in the morning.
DM, have we seen any servants or butler people? Okay.
Yeah, there's been several. I mean, not again, not an extreme amount. I think you've probably seen 3.
Okay.
And he brings you to a set of, again, modest rooms, small, double beds. I hope you don't mind. These rooms were once my children's, but have been empty for some time. So, hopefully they are acceptable.
If there's a service person nearby, I'm going to telepathically message them and just say, "Hey, would you mind hanging back and perhaps speaking with me for a moment after the old man goes to bed?"
It's an older woman who yelps a bit and like looks at you. What heavens?
Faye.
I don't know what that means.
That's okay. And he goes into his room.
Is he doing the thing where he talks in your head again?
He gets a message in the back of his head. Yes.
You gotta stop doing that. Normal people don't do that to other people. You say
Just sort of
hello
glares.
with your mouth.
She just sort of glares in your direction and turns and huffs away.
That's...
Get a better reaction to talk. Whatever. I'll thank you for the rooms.
Yeah, yes, of course. Well, with that, I will bid you all a good evening. Sleep well. If you need anything, of course, you can, wake one of the servants.
Of course. You have a good evening.
You as well.
Thank you.
As soon as he's out of earshot, he's gonna knock on the wall to because I'm assuming that it's probably gonna be Durango and Cole, and he's just gonna like knock on the wall to signal him.
What do you want?
I know you're not asleep yet. Let's just have a conversation before bed. I just want to talk to my friends.
I shoot a glance over to Durango.
I'm not here. I'm not here.
I'm in my knickers and Durango's already most of the way asleep.
You act like that's gonna deter me.
Ain't taking no for an answer.
Do not know what to do, so it's called. We have never faced such a threat before.
What did Cole's gonna hide under the bed.
He's gonna look over at Ash and just go, "Hey,
What?
don't you think it's odd?"
What part?
I don't know, all of it. And then he passes out.
Oh, we need to do that more often. Ash goes and knocks on the wall. It's okay, he's asleep now.
You hear the shuffling of somebody in plate mail who has clearly not begun to undress at all. Picks himself off the ground. And then more clanking as I begin to unbuckle everything.
Ash is gonna go. Feeling still odd about the day, he's gonna do that thing where he kind of sits sleeping up in the bed, cross-legged.
Meanwhile, Tens is drooling on the pillow.
And Durango's just cradling his new mandolin, kind of stroking along the neck, analyzing the details, smiling devilishly, for lack of a better word.
So as all of you find rest for the evening in the modest home, although, again, while just a tinge of sadness, there was, for the most part, a relatively fun evening. Of course, at some point in the middle of the night, your sleep is disturbed by the dong, 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 dong. And as alarming as it is, the exhaustion of the trip just sort of weighs heavily on you. And
My evening was interrupted by the dong. Dong, 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 dong.
oh, nuts.
That dong, da dong, dong, dong.
The morning comes and you hear the sound of the the staff beginning to prepare the house for the day. A fairly modest but large breakfast is prepared for all of you. Is there anything anyone's looking to do before they leave their rooms and head out, or?
I just want to catch one of the servants and ask about the kids. What happened? It doesn't need to necessarily be like drawn out or anything. Just
Yeah, they inform you that many of them have passed throughout the years, random illnesses and things like that. Most recently, Ilya, it was maybe about 6 months ago. She died with illness, fever.
next to an abbey. That's weird. Okay.
I think people get sick no matter where they are.
These are supposed to be clerics who can heal diseases.
Well, I think they don't have much of a relationship with the abbey, yeah?
Right, which is why I find it odd. I think they'd at least go ask for help.
Well, I mean, again, it seems like they leave them alone, except for whoever's dropping off the wine or giving the wine orders or receiving them.
Should we figure out who's doing that then?
Yeah, maybe.
Could say we have a few extra bottles of Fortescue's finest to pass on.
Well, we're running low on that, so I don't know.
I don't know. It's just a thought.
It'd be
He
our
like
end.
waves his hand, and a bottle of Terry's apple wine appears in his hand.
You holding out on me?
No, and he drops it, and it turns into leaves.
Somebody's got to clean those leaves up, right?
No, and he points at them, and they're just like dissipating into the wind.
I guess that's
Mr. Tens, such fakuri.
Found my roots.
As you all head to breakfast and partake, the mistress of the house is absent. Dimitri he arrives and with a notepad in hand and a bit of some spectacles on his nose. He raises them up to his hair. Well, hopefully breakfast to your liking. Anna's had a long night. She's going to sleep in a bit this afternoon. Apparently, the wine was a little too much, but I have a bit of work to do for the town, so hopefully you won't mind if I get about my business here. You feel free to roam the streets, although I think more modest than what you'd be used to. There's, of course, a beautiful shrine, pool with a bit of history of Mr. Tensvetter, your stories. You could, of course, visit that at the north end of town, and then, yes, enjoy the sights.
Thank you again, Burgermeister. Appreciate
Yes,
your
of course.
hospitality. Fantastic.
My home is your home for as long as you stay. in
Careful.
Kresk.
I mean something different where I'm from.
I'm remiss to ask, but I really must be about my work. So please see yourselves out as you need to, and let us know if you need anything else.
We appreciate your hospitality. You've been most gracious, and with
course.
a big flourish. Bows,
God, this
flips
is
the
the
coat back.
longest American goodbye.
Yeah, I'm from the upper Midwest, and the car has been warming up for 30 minutes already.
You see, he takes a bit of some stuff off the table and then walks back to the study.
I'm
Whatever
gonna
looks
make sure that I
pocketable.
have. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pocketing fruit.
Okay.
Rolls of some sort, I'm sure.
Ash is gonna flag down one of the staff. Is there any sort of general goods store or anything like that in town?
Well, I'm not certain. Most everything we have is traded from particular craftspeople. But is there something in particular you're looking for?
These leathers are starting to get a little rough. Just looking to see if I can't, I don't know, get them replaced or
You can have
maybe upgrade.
mine.
Out of character, I'm legitimately looking to see if I need to up that AC because I'm tired of getting hit that hard.
Yeah, armor's gonna be tough. There's no armor in town. There's a farrier, horseshoes, that kind of thing. Not the place for it, unfortunately.
Okay, well,
My offer
That makes-
stands.
I mean, what kind of leathers do you? What kind of,
I just have leather.
maybe that's all I got to.
But
Well,
he's also, and he kind of like nudges Cole as they're doing things. Bet he's looking for someone to make more of those necklaces. And he like pulls out his and dangles it for a moment and puts it back in.
You're just full of spit and vinegar this morning, aren't you?
I forgot I gave you guys all silver jewelry.
Yeah.
I'm like, what necklace are you talking about? I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Well, heart-shaped pendants.
Yep, little heart-shaped pendant.
BFFs, so it's like the two hearts.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, it's all coming back to me now.
As you guys,
I got cloves of garlic in my quiver.
as you guys gather yourselves, what's the plan? Where are you headed?
Do we want to look around town before we go actually check out the Abbey?
Yeah, I do think we should check out that pool he was talking about,
Yeah, the shrine.
the shrine. It gives some insight onto whatever's going on here.
Wonder who it's to.
Guess we'll find out.
yes, let us go and see the source of this racket, and perhaps the great Durango Fortescue can teach this bell pull to hold a rhythm.
And maybe you can tell me the source of where you found that mandolin.
Mr. Tens, we have been through this, I assure you.
I'm not gonna let it go until you tell me. And he just like walks past him out the door toward going north.
Ash is gonna go ahead and clap his hand on Durango's shoulder and go, "Trust me, he won't."
Oh, Mr. Ash, I can only hope that his attention changes as quickly as his moods.
That is a good point. I don't think
making
you're
a-
gonna be so lucky.
You will
So-
see, Mr. Ash, that fate favors the great Durango Fortescue.
It's like an immovable wall versus an unstoppable object. Is that how it goes? That's really hard to say in a Cockney accent. Immovable wall. Unstoppable object.
Too many vowels.
Yeah, too much.
Making a point of being the last one to leave, Durango is going to, as quickly as he can, just take his fingernail and like scratch into the door frame, the symbol of the muse, as if trying to like draw his attention to the household. People with such obvious sorrow.
You're trying to do this without being
Discreetly.
noticed. Yeah, discreetly. Yeah, make a sleight of hand check.
The great Durango Fortescue has the slightest of hands. It's 20.
Okay. Yeah, so you very quickly, and you're pretty adept at it at this point. You mark the symbol of your patron into the door frame in a fashion where you don't believe anyone would notice, and it almost just looks like an infernal just scratching in general, anyway. So, walking through town, the majority of it is your fairly standard village, and everyone is tending to their own animals, and for the most part is keeping to themselves. There are a few wagons filled with wood. The noticeable difference between this town and others, especially being inside the wall, was just the sheer volume of trees. There's trees everywhere. Each home is, positioned between a small forest of fir trees. White capped and a bit of freshly fallen snow from a couple nights before, still clinging to some of the branches and a bit of the grass. You all make your way north to the pool, and the trees never seem to clear. They're even surrounding the small bit of water, but as you approach, even under the gray sky, this pool seems to shimmer and sparkle, unlike the lake Bartok, right? Which was a pale gray mirror. This seems to shine as if the sun is glinting off of it. And it's noticeable and calm. And near its shore sits an old gazebo on the verge of collapse. A wooden statue of a mournful, bare-chested man, his paint chipped and faded, stands in the gazebo with its arms outstretched as though waiting to be embraced.
Tins puts an arm out as he sees that water shimmer. He just stops, like Ash, mid-chest, and is just like, that water's dangerous. I've heard people get drowned by water spirits and stuff like that. In fact, I've seen it happen. It's awful.
What are you talking about? The only thing weird about this one is it looks like a nice, body of water compared to...
Right, and we're in Barovia. His eyes are not leaving the water, and we're in Barovia, and there's nothing nice here.
Why, Mr. Tens, I think you may be correct. This water, it seems quite unusual. And Durango walks forward towards it, strumming idly at his mandolin.
Tins grasps at his cloak as he gets away from him, and he's just like, no, careful.
As discreetly as he can, using his new mandolin, Durango's going to cast Levitate and just walk out onto the water. Why, Mr. Tens, you are quite correct. This water is not what it appears. Come. You must see for yourself.
No, don't think so. I think I may find a nice tree over here and enjoy an apple or 3, pass out. You may die.
I am sorry you feel that way, Mr. Tens. I surely do not feel like dying out here. It is quite the view.
Would I have any knowledge through my studies at in Kasata about a sun-kissed lake enchantment or any sort of sun-based shimmering?
Make a religion check.
Sun-based shimmering.
It's getting late. It's a 17.
Science.
Yeah,
17.
Just practical science.
Yeah.
Simple light refraction. Do I know about it?
So no legends about a sun-kissed lake. Nothing of that nature. Although the statue itself is very clearly to you, even through the wear and the dismay that the disrepair that the gazebo is in, the statue is very clearly a depiction of the Morning Lord, Lathander, positioned as is practice, reaching towards the east, the dawn. The lake itself, although in Tens's, it's no surprise to you, his apprehension is ironic, as the feeling you get is calm and a holy aura similar to the one that you felt when you were in the church in Vallaki. You are aware that sometimes when particularly powerful clerics or priests have blessed bodies of water, it tends to shimmer in the light.
I'm going to walk over just to the shore of it. Let's get down and start investigating it.
Be careful. They just reach out and grab you. And
I'm going to
yank you.
plunge my hand in and start screaming. Ah! Oh, my hand! Oh!
Tins
Oh,
jumps
it
up and
burns!
like appears
Oh!
next to him and is like yanking at his shoulder, like trying to get him out. He's like, no, no, no.
I grab Tens and I throw him in the water.
Meanwhile, Durango's just sitting on top of the water, like playing a song.
Called it. Yeah.
While the water is not dangerous, it is still water, and it is exceptionally cold. While not frozen, the pool doesn't seem to freeze, but it is definitely a product of the chill that seems to be setting over this late fall, early winter valley.
Tins will just face step right out of the water on the other side of Cole and just kick. But he's got an 8 strength, so he's not gonna make it. It's not gonna work. He just ping. Ow, ow.
I feel good down it.
Otherwise, the water itself, for those of you that were in it, it tastes sweet and fresh and very refreshing.
So deceptive, these naiads.
I'm just going to grab Tens' head, put him towards the gazebo. See that statue in there?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I found her. And shove his head.
Oh, he like stumbles forward a little bit, lackadaisically. Don't have to be a jack. He follows him.
So you're saying this is holy water?
It seems like maybe a priest might have conducted a ceremony on it at some point. Might be sanctified. Might be the reason that the Strahd don't bother this place too much.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I'm gonna hug the statue. He said it looked like it was looking for an embrace. I'm gonna hug the statue.
Okay.
Mighty stone, mate.
So? You ever
You
been
wrap
in
your
a...
arms. You wrap your arms around it. It is a cold wooden embrace.
It's like the gardens back home. Sometimes you find people that are just frozen in stone.
Yeah, I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, I ain't touching that one. I'm gonna take the vial of the now empty vial of. Well, nope, never mind. I threw it and broke it. I was gonna grab some of the holy water, but I forgot I broke that vial. Never mind.
Hearing about holy water and consecrated, Durango wastes no time getting off the lake, and also keeps a careful distance from the gazebo itself.
You would have a generic water flask, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could fill that if you wanted to.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
After the hug, Tens is going to start looking at the wood of the gazebo. Said it's looking a little off kilter. Maybe I could fix it up.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's just aged and in disrepair. It looks like the only reason it's standing is because of the surrounding trees and the hill sort of block whatever strong gust of wind it looks like could knock it over.
You'd think that with this many trees, we could just, make a few boards, cut a few cuts, slap them up, replace them. He looks over at Cole.
You want to do town hall too. You can fix the roads.
No,
It's
that's
a
not
bit,
a lot
bit,
of
a
work.
bit, bit of general
That's-
carpentry work. You're just gonna come and start doing home improvements.
Well, it's
that
nice. It's
it?
a shrine, right? It's nice to fix shrines, I think.
I think if the town wants to try and fix it, want to fix a shrine, mate.
Have you met the people of Barovia? They're fucking awful. They're not going to fix this shrine.
Yeah, maybe I should rot then.
You're
Well,
the
that's right.
worst holy man I have ever met.
Yep.
Glad we agree. Is there anything interesting in the gazebo to look at?
Make an investigation check.
Okay. Spit and vinegar, boys. 21.
You sort of look around, and most of it is, again, just hasn't been touched in a significant amount of time, and nothing overly interesting other than this, just its condition.
Maybe I'll talk to the Burgermeister then. Maybe the abbot will have something more. We'll walk back to the edge of the water. Out, like away from the gazebo.
Ash will look for any like historical monument placards saying whatever this is about.
Sure. Make an investigation or a perception check.
Yes, the thing I'm good at. $22.
Rolling like mad tonight. Look at you.
I know, right? Yeah. So after
Impossible.
a bit of searching, you find what looks like it was once a placard, but it's almost been swallowed by a tree that has grown behind it now. It's started to grow into it, so it's very easily missed. What you can make out from the wooden engraving is that it was once referred to as the Shrine of the White Sun. Although it doesn't, it's clear that they don't know why it was originally named that, but it is believed that the waters of the pool were once blessed by Saint Markovia herself, and that the water itself is said to have healing properties.
Hey, Tense, how's your hangover?
What?
You got a hangover from last night?
No, I'm fine.
Oh, never mind.
It's a great thing about autumn. They rarely have a hangover. Because you're just constantly drunk. It's great. You should try it.
Apparently the water's got like healing properties. That Cole's right. Says it was blessed by the Markovia.
Oh? Neat.
Can we see a source of the pool water? Is it just here? Like, because it's not that big, right?
It's not. Make a nature check.
Dirty 20. Figuring out all the things.
Looking around, because again, you've spent a lot of time in the wilderness, this close to the mountains and the hills. No apparent water source typically means that it's fed from somewhere underground.
Well, if we've had our fill, do we want to go check out the Abbey? Sorry, here, innit?
Yeah, might as well. Thought we might learn something special here, but
No, just
it's a spring
know.
of some sort.
deceptive water, that's all.
So, continuing to walk back through the town and following the road, it's a switchback, right? Sort of meanders up this large hill. The cliff itself is, or the road itself hugs the cliff, which is maybe 10 feet wide, covered with a loose gravel, chunks of broken rock. Descent is slow and somewhat treacherous, to be honest. The gravel is slippery and still some of it a bit frozen and wet from previous snows. The air just continues to grow colder the closer and closer you get to the top.
Are we there yet?
We'll be in a minute. Hold on.
Make you turn this adventure around.
No, I will turn this adventure right around.
No, not the Wizards of Wines again. Don't take me back to the hill. Don't take me back to the hill.
It's an unburnable tree. Oh God.
The road.
Deceptive water and unburnable trees.
It's the road from the village. The rivage. 12:15. Climbs above the mist to the wide ledge on which the abbey is perched. A light dusting of snow covers the trees and the rocky earth. The gravel road passes between two small stone outbuildings, to either side of which stretches a 5-foot high, 3-foot thick wall of jumbled stones held together with mortar. Blocking the road are iron gates attached to the outbuildings by rusty hinges. They appear to be unlocked. Viewed through the gates, the stone abbey stands quiet. Its two wings are joined by a 15-foot high curtain wall. A belfry protrudes from the rooftop of the closer north wing, which also sports a chimney billowing gray smoke. And suddenly, as you approach, that shiver runs down your spine again as the bell chimes. Dong, 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 dong. That's what we'll pick up next week.
Dang it.
He gotcha.
Sorry, I gotcha. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Curse of Strahd. Big shout out to our sponsors for this episode, Foundry, Forge-VTT. If you guys want to get your VTT on and play online TTRPGs, but just don't know how to do it or get involved, just hop in our Discord. Again, Chuck, myself, Soul, any of us are more than happy to walk you through it, or at least give you our list of mods and stuff that we use to make our games run the way they do. A huge shout out to Dragon Knight Dice, who is continuing to be our dice provider for our custom dice giveaway, one of which we are doing here in just a moment. But before we get into that, Ryan, do you want to do our Steam game first?
Yeah, we can do that. Let me just enter in those quickly. I just require a moment.
Everybody needs a
One moment.
One singular moment.
I was just going to suggest to Durango to shatter that belfry.
From here.
Oh
Like
yeah,
he
just
did
snipe the
me.
thing. Yeah.
Believe me, the thought has crossed his mind, but this bell pull needs a proper dressing down first.
Ooh.
He needs to be forced to watch the consequences of his terrible bell ringing actions.
Yeah, you get it.
All right, rolling for the game giveaway. And we have Faulty81. Congratulations.
Faulty.
Congratulations.
Another one.
You're number one.
Is that how
And
we're going to
another
say faulty from now on? Is just faulty.
Faulty. Don't fault me. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, it's
Nice
too
job,
late.
man. Nice job, man. Way to get that game.
Way to be a winner. Look at you, a
I'd
winner.
love to say you earned it.
He
But
did.
let's,
They
you know,
did by being here.
Come on.
They did. They
Come
got
on.
their elf eggs.
All
Spend your
right,
stinky elf eggs.
and now.
All right,
we're
nobody
going to-
cares about that. Nobody
No.
cares about that, Faulty. We just want to know who won the dice.
And rolling.
Rolling. Dragon Knight.
And T-Cat, congratulations. You are the winner of the this month's February's Abraxia dice. Congratulations. We'll be reaching out to you for some address information so we can get those shipped over to you.
If you don't take
That's awesome. They look really, really good. I haven't gotten them in yet, but it's my wife's character, so I ordered them for her as well. So now there are 2 people that own that set of dice: T-Cat, you, and Abraxia. Congratulations! Super exciting.
I'm
All right,
glad the
well, we've
handset's
got
rolling better.
one more roll to do, and I think in honor of all his successful rolls tonight, I mean, Ash, it's got to be you, man.
It's gonna be a natural one.
Send us on our raid.
Let's do it. Let's get that natty 1. Nope, but a 5.
Oh, that wasn't bad actually. They've been
We're
deep
on
lately.
par.
Let me get into to help if I was
2
in the proper
giveaways.
area
Ryan's done
here.
counting. He doesn't even want to count to 5.
No, I don't even. Done. It looks like we are going to Drunks and Dragons, the full costume stream, I guess. This looks interesting. Green screen and costumes.
Drunks and Dragons. Is this Tim Lanning and that crew?
I believe so.
Is it
Awesome.
really? Nice.
I think so, right? Sly Flourish. I didn't know they streamed on Twitch.
Oh no, the Grouch. Maybe it's different. The Grouch Couch is the name of this account.
Gotcha.
There we go. So that's who we'll be
All right,
reading
well,
tonight.
Thank you, everybody. Hopefully, we catch you on Thursday for Sinner's Dream. I'm sorry. Thursday
Wow.
for Plastic Cougar. Next Monday for Sinner's Dream. And then, of course, Sunday for more spooky Strahd.
Ooh.
Anyways, yeah, whatever. See you next time.
Bye.